them.
Adelante con las dudas.
Are there?
Hola.
Hello.
Para Manuel Madrid.
A question to Manuel Madrid. You said that your intersection methodology or the crossings methodology could be improved. Yes, the basis is the cartography of OpenStreetMap. I don't know if you know how it is digitalized. Depending on the city, it is digitalized by different people. For the crossings or intersections, some of them are not yet identified. On avenues, for instance, and streets with different paving types or with separate lanes, more than an axis is assigned, which generates more crossings than those which you would find physically. Maybe something should be done to try and simplify these types of avenues with different lanes or separate lanes to be able to calculate intersections a lot better. It only happens for a few street types, but obviously, yes, the number of crossings is higher than the actual number. And some cities have parallel roads which are not strictly separate lanes or separate roads, or pedestrian lanes which have been digitalized as the pavement. I suppose that could be filtered out better to be more accurate and reduce the number of crossings. I suppose, yes, this is a weakness we could improve, but we only knew afterwards. And the width of the streets? Use the microphone, please. Yes, the width of the street. It includes both the road and the pavement. Yes. No, yes, the width goes from, one building to another building opposite. It's the public space, all of it, from both sides of the road. Questions? Yeah, I'm here. Question to Daniel. Daniel, in how many offices is your application installed? Well, at present, in 70 registrars' offices on their intranets. But there are more and more applying for it. But now 70 offices of the registrar. Yes, the registration, property registration office, you said there is a graphic basis and then a process is applied on the ortho photographs and finally the process is validated by the registrar. Did I understood things right? Or is the procedure different? But who gives the okay? The registrar? Yeah, the person who validates the graphic depiction of the property or the plot is the registrar. The registrar, in the end, validates the property and so confirms that the graphic depiction of the property is in line with the data on the registration sheet. Should a discrepancy be found about the footage or the area, the graphic file would not be validated. So in the end, it is up to the registrar, yes, to validate the information of the file. He or she validates the footage, the area. I go to site quite often, to the field, and sometimes you clearly see that data are not in line with the actual situation. So is that it? The registrar simply confirms what he or she sees on an ortho photograph? Validation means that the information is in line with the data in the poll tax office. Confirmation by the cadaster is different. Yeah, but ultimately it's up to the registrar to confirm, to validate if a deed, if a sheet from the registration office is correct. Am I right? With the records, if it matches the records. Well, it's a legal reality. It's not tangible. Did you see the example I gave about the demarcation of a plot? Things did not match there. Yes, but things change on a piece of land. You know, you might have a property registered, and then that property might have been demolished, or well, it is complicated indeed. That's why we want to have interoperability between both institutions, the registrar and the cadastre, because there are many discrepancies. But the deed can be confirmed with data from the cadastre or from other sources, because yeah, okay, thank you anyway.
¿Alguna pregunta más?
Are there any more questions? Francisco, I don't know if there are students in the room, but just in case, computer students, computer science. This year, Google offers software, open source software projects, money for a couple of months to do developments that can be then included in open source software projects. What we just saw about algorithm calculation would be nice on gvSIG. So if you're interested, please apply to Google and you may be given the funding. It is 10 years. It is the 10th anniversary of Google in this respect, and I suppose they'll be doing nice things and have more money. Manuel, did you come across any technical processes in your CT processing? Yeah, the biggest problem we had was the huge amount of data to be processed. We deal with thousands, millions of entries, and sometimes it takes hours. So we had to use computer teams, powerful computer equipment, to minimize the time. Particularly the solution of polygons in the area of influence of the buffer, that took quite a long time, but in the end we managed to do so. But for some cities it took a lot of effort. And how does OpenStreetMap cartography conditioned the choice of your cities? How did it condition it? It conditioned us with cities in developing countries. Joan Clos was interested in including some Chinese cities or some African cities in India too. And in those cases, we had to rule some of them out. For China, we could do Beijing because the cartography was all right. And for India, we did it for Calcutta. But with New Delhi, we couldn't do it. And with some African cities, we couldn't do it either. Any more doubts? Good morning. I have a question for Peñarrubia about the update of data when streets are bidirectional or two-way roads. Well, for some regions, they own the data, but in most cases, it is the regions, the communities that have the data and send them. Some problems occur when you try to make changes from one region to another region. If you are in Castellón and you want to go to Tarragona in Catalonia, you find 2 lanes lanes on each side of the motorway, and in Castellón there is only one, but that's already being corrected. But this is a type of mistake or problem which required geo-processing in the graph with node snapping. So we did optimize that to make it faster. Let me remind you, now it's the break now. There is a dinner today in the evening. If you want to attend, please tell those at the counter outside. Thank you to all three speakers, and thank you to all of you for being here.
Yes.